Imagine your kid asks you for $20. You don't ask them what for because you want to show that you trust them. Then you find out they spent it all on candy. You're likely to be disappointed and have a discussion with them about finances, but now, imagine you found out that your kid not only accepted your $20, but then spent it on a knife that they then used to slash the tires of your car. That's how we the people feel about Kevin Cry's usage of county funds to go visit the MyPillow guy. Their delusion has them at the point of not even being able to see a fundamental flaw in their plan to eradicate voter fraud. Once again, this is the effect that Donald Trump via Fox News has had on this country. The fact of the matter is that the only option that won't get our county sued is to keep Dominion. That's the only fact that matters. I don't care if somewhere in Narnia, Dominion voting machines were somehow interfered with. It did not happen here.
This is Nathan Blaze, an activist in Shasta County, California, who's doing amazing work in combating the MAGA lunatics who hijack the county's government.
Our local machines do not have internet access, and therefore, by clear logic and a modicum of understanding of modern technology, our machines can only be tampered with via physical access, which would mean that someone would have to break into our elections office, find the machines, rip them open, find a way to physically connect to them. Then they'd have to install their hack. Once installed, they would now need a way to control it. Without the ability to control it, that would mean someone would have to have written a highly advanced algorithm to detect votes and somehow automatically change them to the desired target in Shasta County. Apparently, we're worthy of world-class hackers out here in chicken coop nowhere. Also, once the hack is installed, their programming would require them to self-delete all traces. Then whoever ripped apart the machines would apparently also need to be a hell of a handyman because they'd have to repair the damage to the machines as to go unnoticed. All of this Mission Impossible 15 bullcrap would have to be done entirely without being seen by a single employee or the commercial-grade surveillance system installed on the building. This is one of the stupidest things any group of humans on this planet has ever thought could be possible. When extremists who are capable of believing the sci-fi fairy tale that I just spun for you start hand counting your ballots and then see the ballot of someone they disagree with, do you really think they have the morality to not cheat at this point? Is your ballot even going to count if this happens?
Blaze is doing what so many people across the country should be doing, confronting the delusions of Trump's voter base head on with indisputable facts while simultaneously mocking the absurdity of their beliefs. And Blaze is back at it again, holding the bogus County Elections Commission to the fire. The panel was conveniently set up by the same group of corrupt MAGA county supervisors who Nathan has been sounding the alarm on for months now.
It's its whole little meeting with county council they're being paid, the county clerks they're being paid, and all these people coming to speak and give their opinions in a building that is powered by tax dollars. So I think this whole thing is stupid and pointless. The fact that we're even having the power on in this building right now to do this makes absolutely no sense to me. And now you're up here because you got radicalized by all this election fraud bullcrap. You're not actually helping the county. When you bring in people like this charlatan over here with his little charts and his little graphs trying to convince you that the election was stolen while you go to his little seminars and pay him your hard-earned money is ridiculous. He is making a fool out of all of you.
If you don't know who Douglas Frank is,
I'm standing against a whole establishment that's saying, oh, that was the cleanest election in history.
That's Douglas Frank, an Ohio math and science teacher who's traveled here to Texas and dozens of other states.
Hi, everybody.
With the financial backing of other conspiracy-minded Americans, claiming he uncovered an algorithm proving the election was stolen.
I'd like the country to stand up and say, wow, this thing was ripped off. Let's do a do-over, or let's put Trump back in office. These data we're bringing in are...
Frank's findings have been debunked by mathematicians and election experts.
We're going into each state clandestinely, and I meet privately with legislators and secretaries of states and attorney generals.
He is just one in an army of foot soldiers inspired by Donald Trump's election lies, now trying to convince others the 2020 election was stolen.
Who are these 35,000 people who mailed in ballots? You need to find out. So if you don't know who I am, I'm the guy that Mr. Lindell discovered.
Frank has the backing of MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell.
He paid for me to be here talking to you. Mr. Lindell flew his private jet to pick me up, to take me to meet with the Secretary of State.
Frank has crisscrossed the country, sharing his fraud claims wrapped in a fancy-sounding mathematical equation.
I was the perfect person in this world to discover this. I have exactly the right skills. I have found a 6-voter polynomial in every state in the country. They're inflating our registration rolls, stuffing phantom ballots, and then cleaning it up afterwards. That's that simple.
Experts say Frank's conclusions are nonsense.
He's much better at presenting himself as a professor than even myself. He gets up, he has a bow tie, he talks about all this data, he talks about a 6-order polynomial. I think this took my research group an afternoon. You uncover that there's no basis for this. But if you're not someone who, like me, spends all day working on statistics and data, 6-order polynomials and nearly perfect correlations, it sounds like he's uncovered something, really impressive.
With this context in mind, let's get back to Nathan Blaze.
And the fact that you're even talking about voter fraud and election integrity, you guys realize that the only time you talk about that is when you lose elections? So how on earth is there only voter fraud when you guys don't win? That is just simple, basic logic. Trump said a thing at some point, and you guys were all so entitled and so mad that you didn't win that you just wanted to believe it. It's called willful ignorance. That is what you are. That is what all of you are, is willfully ignorant. You guys didn't complain when Kevin Cry won. You didn't complain when Chris Kellstrom won. There was no voter fraud there. Why is there voter fraud here now?
They won despite the fraud.
Oh, yeah, no, that's your BS argument to, oh my God. That is, you see, you guys always just make up another thing. Another thing. There's always another thing to say that's not the damn truth.
This is exactly the type of reaction the Republicans wanted from their base after spreading the election conspiracy theories. If another candidate wins, it's fraud. But if a Republican wins, the candidate earns such widespread support that the Democrat boogeyman's fraud attempt was futile.
I have been coming to these meetings dealing with these idiots for years now. You idiots believing all this crap. I need to believe as a human, as a member of this community for the last 30 years, that there is some semblance of sanity left in the people of this community. And I do not see it with this current gaggle of sheep. No, I'm from here. I'm not going anywhere. And you guys know that. You know I'm not going anywhere.
Then please address the commission.
I just was, but they were talking to me, so I was responding. I think I should be allowed to do that. All right. Anyways, that's all I needed to say. And I meant every word of that. You guys are being ridiculous. You're wasting their time. You're wasting their time. You're wasting all of our time. If there is election fraud, actually prove it.
What a legend. We need more people like Nathan Blaze out there if we're to have any hope of reforming our country from the inside, because neither Republicans nor some Dems really care about improving voters' lives at the national level. Their primary concern is do whatever they can to stay in office and collect as many paychecks from those pulling the strings as possible while in power, leaving us regular people to lead the charge toward progress and real material change in each and every county. Be sure to follow Nathan Blaze on TikTok and check out the conversation I had with Nathan a few months back right here on TYT Sports.